smile, Roger Stone arrives at the Pretty Man United States Courthouse yesterday. Photo, Chipsamode Villa, Getty Images. Roger Stone, a longtime advisor and confidant of U.S. President Donald Trump, pleaded not guilty yesterday to felony charges in the Russia investigation after a publicity-filled few days spent slamming the probe as politically motivated. The political operative and self-described dirty trickster faces charges that he lied to lawmakers, engaged in witness tampering and obstructed a congressional investigation into possible coordination between Russia and Mr. Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. He was uncharacteristically quiet during the brief court appearance, rising to his feet to say, "Yes, Your Honor," as U.S. Magistrate Judge Deborah Robinson asked if he would agree to the conditions of his release, including restricted travel. Stone attorney Robert Bushell entered the plea on his client's behalf. Mr. Stone, 66, made no public statements as he arrived and departed the courthouse amid dueling chants of "Lock him up" and "We love Roger." He waved and smiled to the small crowd, some holding up glowing photos of him, and he largely ignored a group of protesters carrying signs reading, "Dirty Traitor." Mr. Stone, who was arrested last week at his Florida home, is the sixth Trump aide charged in special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. The indictment does not accuse Mr. Stone of coordinating with Russia or with WikiLeaks on the release of hacked Democratic emails. But it does allege that he misled lawmakers about his pursuit of those communications and interest in them. The anti-secrecy website published emails in the weeks before the 2016 presidential election that the U.S. says were stolen from Democrats by Russian operatives. Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker said on Monday that the investigation was close to being completed, although an exact timetable is unclear. Mr. Mueller continues to be interested in hearing from Stone aide Andrew Miller, who is fighting a grand jury subpoena, indicating the special counsel could be pursuing additional criminal charges against Mr. Stone or others related to the release of hacked material during the 2016 election by WikiLeaks, its founder, Julian Assange, and online persona Guccifer 2.0. Paul Kaminer, Mr. Miller's attorney, said Mr. Mueller's team notified him of their continued interest late on Monday. Mr. Miller defied the grand jury subpoena last summer and took his challenge of Mr. Mueller's authority to a federal appeals court. A three-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia has yet to rule in the case. Mr. Mueller's team and lawyers with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia are jointly prosecuting the case against Mr. Stone. They did not push for Mr. Stone to be jailed or for Mr. Robinson to impose a gag order in the case. He is free on $250,000 bond. Mr. Stone has said he did nothing more than drum up interest with voters about the WikiLeaks disclosures. He has also denied discussing the issue with Mr. Trump. "That's what I engaged in. It's called politics and they haven't criminalized it, at least not yet," Mr. Stone said on This Week. "All I did was take publicly available information and try to hype it to get it as much attention as possible, because I had a tip. The information was politically significant and that it would come in October," he added. Yesterday's arraignment didn't inspire the same circus-like atmosphere that surrounded his Friday court appearance in Florida, where Mr. Stone emerged from the courthouse and flashed a Richard Nixon victory sign. Irish Independent.